The Avengers' defeat in the closing moments of Infinity War was one of the most devastating blows to the cast of the MCU, and serves as one of their lowest points in all of the universe. We know, however, that they were supposed to lose that encounter, and that the temporary sacrifice of half of all the universe was an integral aspect of the timeline, both as proven by Doctor Strange as well as confirmed by the TVA. There are several theories as to why the Avengers had to lose this encounter with Thanos though, including that they needed to ensure that Thanos destroyed the Infinity Stones before beating him, and the idea that that causing Nexus events would have caused the intervention of the TVA. And while both are compelling theories in their own rights, a new idea has recently surfaced as well. So, stick with us today, watchers of the Marvel Multiverse, and let's discuss the idea that the Avengers actually had to lose against Thanos because of the Eternals. Let us explain. The theory proposes that the plot of the Eternals film would not have been able to transpire if they weren't for the Avengers' initial loss and their subsequent victory. We know that the Eternals, specifically Eckardt, have traversed the universe for millennia, serving several different planets as guardians of evolution and peacekeepers against the Deviants. Eckardt in particular retained her memories from previous adventures, while the rest of the Eternals were ultimately reset and reconditioned for a new planet in a brand new age. When we come to learn of the emergence in the Eternals solo film, we learn that this is not Eckardt's first time sacrificing a planet for the birth of a Celestial, and she has done so many times before this. What's different here, however, is her unique attachment to humanity, and the faith that they have garnered due to the events of Endgame. For the first time, Eckardt is genuinely enthralled by a species, and is attached to humanity on a level that she has never displayed before. This idea planted the seed that the emergence not only could be stopped, but brought into question the ethics of whether or not it should be. For the first time in her existence, Eckardt is questioning her mission, questioning Arishem, and wondering if humanity should remain exempt from destruction at the cost of a new Celestial. This idea is one that several other Eternals would ultimately come to share, with Cersei leading the charge to save the Earth from imminent destruction. But this would not have happened if not for the Avengers' initial loss in Infinity War. If the Avengers had won, then it's unclear if Eckardt would have learned about the fight against Thanos. We know that she is most likely aware of their previous adventures against the Chitauri and Ultron, seeing as these events were international news and were largely covered across the planet. Yet these aren't the things that she said impressed her and changed her mind. She was impressed not only that they defeated Thanos, but that they were willing to bring everyone back and were able to. These seemingly insignificant creatures from a large unexplored planet broke the fabric of time in order to save half the population of the universe. Even the most technologically advanced planets in the MCU, from Hala to Xandar to the power of the Nova Corps and the Kree, could not achieve this feat despite demonstrating vast technological superiority over Earth. It's reasonable to assume that Eckardt has seen nations of equal or greater technological advancement, as she has lived dozens of lifetimes across the galaxy. If they had won, then it would have certainly been impressive, but it would have not garnered the same respect and admiration from this Eternal, and Eckardt likely would not have set into motion the events of the Eternals film. It's her death that sets into motion the events of the film itself, and Ikaris would not have killed her if she didn't have a problem with the emergence. In fact, the emergence would have taken place much sooner than it actually did, simply because Tiamat feeds off of life forces on Earth. If half of the population was not slashed, then Tiamat would have matured even sooner, and the Earth would have been lost. This brings into question, however, as to whether or not Doctor Strange is now aware of the Eternals, and if he saw the events of their solo film when looking into alternate futures. If he was able to foresee the emergence, then he would automatically know that there was a Celestial brewing in the core of the Earth, waiting to mature and emerge. It would therefore also mean that he would have become familiar with the team of Eternals, as he ensured that Earth would be saved, but only if he was able to ensure that the Avengers first lost. From here, Doctor Strange had to judge several pieces at once. First, he had to stall the fight long enough for Scott Lang to make it into the quantum realm, ensuring that he would be released 5 years later and set the Avengers time heist into motion. Next, he had to surrender the Time Stone to Thanos in order to send a coded message to the Ancient One, knowing that upon hearing that Strange gave it away willingly, she'd know that there was a much greater plan in play for the Sorcerer Supreme. Strange then had to direct the final battle in Endgame to ensure that everything played out how it needed to, with the understanding that he also had to inspire Eckardt, who would inadvertently save the world from the emergence as a result of this inspiration. It also brings into question, if Doctor Strange knew that the emergence was a major threat, then why wouldn't he take it upon himself to stop it after Thanos had been defeated? If half of the population is never eliminated, then he has no way of knowing how long the emergence would take, and he might have realized that he is simply unequipped to deal with it. By MCU standards, Strange is still growing, collecting more power, and becoming a stronger sorcerer with each passing project. And because of this, it is reasonable to conclude that the MCU's version of Doctor Strange has not quite reached the level of contending with a Celestial just yet. And if he knew that the Eternals had matters well in hand, then he might have elected that this was the better option. This is, however, one of the main 3 theories regarding exactly why the Avengers had to lose to Thanos, but we will be releasing breakdowns on the other 2 theories as well, in order to build more of a complete picture for you guys, so be sure to check those out when we eventually release them, and let us know which of the 3 you believe makes the most sense. But again, my friends, what are your thoughts on this particular theory? Do you think that it was actually Doctor Strange seeing into the future, realizing that there was a Celestial about to emerge, and realizing that he needed to delay it, and not only this, but inspire the leader of the Eternals to eventually turn against the original plan, leading the rest of the group to kill a Celestial? Do you think that Doctor Strange was aware of this, and were the Eternals an integral part of them losing to Thanos in the first place, with in the end it turning out perfectly, and Thanos' snap delaying the emergence? It's really compelling and fascinating to see all of these stories intertwine on even a much deeper level now, and the fact how in many ways Thanos' snap actually saved a lot of the universe and Earth, in ways that obviously even the Mad Titan did not intend. Anyway, watchers, again, I would love to hear your thoughts and theories on this in the comments down below. And now, is it beginning to make more sense why Doctor Strange had to look into so many different timelines and realities to see the Avengers have an ultimate win? Thanks as always so much for watching, my friends. Hit that subscribe button to assemble and join our team, and I will hopefully see you in the next video.